StreamYard and YouTube.com. I am your ridiculously over good brother, Anthony Florio here, joined, as always, by the First Lady of the Wrestling Forum, the Twisted Angel, Didi Woodson. And that's it. Good old MF Michael Fletcher will not be joining us this evening because of work commitments beyond his control. Not sure about the Phenom Michael Bullock. We'll see if he comes in. If he does, we'll catch him up on what he missed. If not, then we'll hopefully have him tomorrow night for the Cerebral Smack Talk. But Monday Night Raw tonight, 1 week removed from the best Monday Night Raw of 2019, which emanated from the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden. Unfortunately, on this night, even though there were some newsworthy moments, yes, there were, and a surprising fight of the night, this, I'm afraid, ended up being, as I always call it, a back to reality edition of Monday Night Raw. Not the worst, but not the best either. So there's really nothing more to say on this. Let's dive right on in. Monday Night Raw was live this week from the Thompson Bowling Arena in Knoxville, Tennessee, on the campus of the University of Tennessee Volunteers. And we started out with the Universal Champion Seth Rollins cutting a promo. And then he was interrupted by Bray Wyatt in the Firefly Funhouse. And it was announced that on October the 6th, 20 nights from now, at the Golden One Center in Sacramento, California, we wanted it, we're going to get it. Seth Rollins versus The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, for the Universal Championship inside Hell in a Cell. I can honestly say when it comes to, in-ring segments, I would probably say this was the segment of the night right here. Wyatt seems much more over than Rollins right now, and it's going to be interesting to see how WWE navigates those waters. The segment came off well, and I am genuinely looking forward to this match more than anything that WWE has delivered in some time. This has potential to be a show stealer inside the Hell in a Cell. All I can say is this could end up being the show stealer, although there is another match that also has show stealer potential. So there's nothing more for me to say. Segment of the night. Well done. This came out great. Nothing more to say. Didi Woodson, come on in. We wanted it. We got it. Rollins and The Fiend, Universal title, Hell in a Cell. Let's go.
Yep, that we did. We got the match that we all said last night we'd love to see, and it's going to happen. One-on-one in the Hell in a Cell. So, yeah, definitely I would say would be the segment of the night. So, not much more to say. Let's go on.
All right, let's move on now to, let's see what we have. Our first match of the night, it ended up being a 6-man tag team matchup. All 3 members of the OC, the United States Heavyweight Champion, the phenomenal AJ Styles, the Good Brothers, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, squaring off against Cedric Alexander and the Viking Raiders. OC goes over in 8.5 minutes. AJ Styles pinning Cedric Alexander with a phenomenal forearm. Didi Woodson, it has not been a good 24 hours for Cedric Alexander, and that's a damn shame. I feel bad for that young man.
No, it hasn't been at all. But yeah.
Remember how Seattle played last year? They took the ball out of Wilson's hands and they ran the football and played to their defense.
I'm going to probably give this maybe 1.5 stars. I mean, it was all right, but it just seemed, the Viking Raiders, they gave a lot. Alexander gave a lot, but still, it just seemed more like it was just a beatdown. It wasn't as much of a match as I would have liked to have seen with these guys. But yeah. I don't know. I'll give it back to you.
It's amazing. He didn't want to be a mentor.
For me, I would say this was more between 2 and 2.5. Alexander was pinned in his hometown last night, took the loss in this match, and then took a Styles clash afterward. Ouch. The only thing more painful was watching Ivar's senton off the top rope. Nobody bothered to break his fall, and he landed hard on the mat at ringside. So hopefully everything's okay there. And, it was an okay match. I mean, nothing really special. It was just there. And I feel so bad for Cedric Alexander. I mean, I thought they were building him, but last couple of nights, I think he might be buried. So hopefully I'm wrong on that. But then we had this week's 24/7 silliness, although this was interesting. R-Truth and Carmella in the Women's College Basketball Hall of Fame, which is right near the University of Tennessee. And who showed up? Mayor Kane. As you know, Glenn Jacobs, a.k.a. Kane, he is the mayor of Knox County, Tennessee. And I forgot all about that. That didn't even cross my mind. And then when I saw him, I'm like, oh, yeah, it's Tennessee. I'm like, that's right. He's the mayor of Knox County. That's right. So I'm not at all surprised they brought him in for that. So, but there was more to that than met the eyes. So nothing more to say here. Let's get into the finals of the King of the Ring tournament. Monday Night Raw's Baron Corbin squaring off against SmackDown Live's Chad Gable. When all was said and done, the winner of the match in 19 minutes and 10 seconds and the 2019 WWE King of the Ring is Constable Bleepface Baron Corbin. He wins the match. All right. As much as I hate the outcome, I will give the devil his due. He actually earned this win tonight. He didn't cheat. He didn't have anybody in his back pocket to help him win. He actually earned this win here tonight. And I can honestly say this may have been Baron Corbin's best match to date. This, to me, I said there was going to be a surprising fight of the night. Ladies and gentlemen, this is it. You're not going to believe how I'm going to rate this. I'm giving this 4.25, teetering on 4.5. This, to me, was the fight of the night. This was very well done. Told a perfect story. Corbin, the big bad heel, dominating a great majority of the bout. Chad Gable, the resilient underdog babyface, showing tremendous heart and guts. Wouldn't back down. There were some great hope spots in there for him. But at the end of the day, we all had a feeling Corbin was going to go over. I mean, we don't like the guy. We never have. We never will. But for this one night, I will give him credit where credit is due. He earned this win here tonight. It's the one time Raw beats SmackDown, and I'm not all that thrilled about it. Normally, when Raw goes over SmackDown Live in anything, I'm usually jubilant and full of joy. Well, there's no joy in Mudville here tonight. But he earned it. It was a strong match that was given plenty of time, and both men made the most of it. I mean, unfortunately, the damage was done coming into the finals as I was never really sold on Gable winning because they were too busy telling short jokes in the early rounds of the tournament and having Gable make his sad face in return. So, but anyway, Corbin deserves credit for delivering some strong in-ring performances during the tournament. You know, he also had that great match with Ricochet and Joe last week and solid. I mean, he actually had some good matches in this tournament. I'm not going to lie. He did pretty good. So I'll give him his due. So tomorrow night on SmackDown Live in Atlanta, the official coronation of Baron Corbin as the 2019 King of the Ring. 4.25 stars, fight of the night, sleeper fight of the year. Well done. Didi Woodson, we didn't get the outcome we wanted, but at least we got to give Corbin credit. He actually earned this win tonight. He didn't cheat. None of that BS. None of that.
No, he didn't cheat, but yeah, I'm not super excited about it either, and I hate to say that because of them announcing that they're crowning him tomorrow, I'm not looking forward to SmackDown just because I don't want to see Constable Bleepface do anything. But yeah, the match was very well done. I'll go about 3 3/4 to 4 stars. I'm not going to go much higher than that. But yeah, it was a very good and well done match. These two actually, made each other look pretty good for a change. Crowd, of course, didn't care at the beginning, but what do you expect? I mean, it was Corbin, so we'll just have to see how this plays out with now King Corbin. Ugh, makes me want to throw up saying it.
Same here.
Just take it, because I don't want to rant right now.
Yeah, we don't have much time for that. So, but anywho, yeah, it's going to be a banner night tomorrow night on SmackDown Live. I mean, not only that, but we're also going to have Shane O'Mac addressing his firing of Kevin Owens. Fun. Big fun. Said no one. All right, let's, OMF, SmackDown's going down the tubes. Better hurry up. Fox is calling. So, anyways, more silliness. The Street Profits and several personalities back there. The Maria Kanellis' gender reveal party. It was announced that Maria is going to be having a baby boy. But then again, I'm sure Didi probably already knew that, because I know how Didi follows Maria Kanellis on social media, as do I. But I know Didi's more of the follower than I am. But anywho, and then Maria, trying to, get Mike Kanellis over. She made up a bold-faced lie saying that Ricochet was the father of my child, and Mike got all PO'd. He says, "I'll see you in the ring," and it led into a match, Ricochet against Mike Kanellis. Ricochet won the match in 1 minute and 5 seconds. And then it wasn't over yet. Maria chastises him, rips into him. And then what is this? Rusev's back. A new look Rusev. Wow. Okay. And then Rusev squashes Mike Kanellis in 30 seconds. Yeah, nice to see Rusev, but it was a strange way to reintroduce him. No reason to think that he's being pegged as the father of Maria's child, but you think they would have saved Rusev's return for something more high profile. But that said, he looks better than ever from a physical standpoint, and we'll wait and see what happens. So, and then Mayor Kane wins the 24/7 championship, and that's all there is to say on that. Now let's move on to, something relevant here. Rey Mysterio against Cesaro. Rey Mysterio wins the match, 11.5 minutes. All right, Didi, we got another good match here. I probably would say second best fight of the night here, maybe.
Yeah, I would go with that. I'm going to give it about 3 stars. I mean, Rey did a great job. It's a good, fun match, and definitely something that was needed after the nonsense that we had just had with Mike and Maria and all that stuff. But yeah, it was good to see Rusev back too. But yeah, it is what it is. I mean,
I think it's basically a farewell tour right now for Rey Mysterio. I mean,
yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Because Cesaro did kind of make it a wee bit personal right before the match, where he mentioned Dominic.
Oh yeah.
So that kind of gave Rey some ammunition to really tear into him tonight. So yeah, I'm not gonna say anything else. I'll let you have it.
Yeah. 3 to 3.25 stars. This to me was the second best fight of the night. These two have good chemistry together, and so solid. It was a well worked match. Some good action throughout, and really nothing more to say on that. So we move on now. A women's tag team matchup here. We had the women's tag team champions, Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross, squaring off against Sasha Banks and the SmackDown Women's Champion Bayley in a non-title match. Sasha Banks and Bayley win the match, 12 minutes and 50 seconds. It was Sasha Banks with a backstabber on Nikki Cross, a backstabber and a bank statement for the win, the submission. There was some news that actually came out of this match. Alexa Bliss injured, knee injury. Not sure what the latest prognosis is on that. But then again, we were worried about Braun Strowman last night, and we saw Braun Strowman, and he looked fine because they had him in a segment earlier with this tag team champion summit with Rude and Ziggler and the Revival, and he cleaned house. Sorry, I forgot to mention it, but anyways, here we had Alexa Bliss getting hurt, and I pray that she'll come out of that. Hopefully it's nothing serious. Hopefully it'll be just like with Strowman. But I'm starting to think maybe it was serious because she ended up leaving the match and Nikki ended up being left in a 2-on-1 handicap situation. But I would probably give this about 2.5 stars for the effort. Match was fine in that they protected the tag champions to some extent by having Alexa Bliss make an early exit due to the knee injury. Post-match angle was decent, though. If I didn't know better, I think we were building more towards TLC, and that's not till December. They were working toward a chairs bout. But Banks will need to get some real heat on Becky Lynch if they're setting up a Hell in a Cell rematch. Oh, by the way, they teased the Hell in a Cell rematch, and I think Becky wanted inside Hell in a Cell, as do all of us. And I'm not sure if that's official yet. If it is official, then hey, wow. Raw's got 2 big money main events in Sacramento. Good luck, SmackDown, trying to match that. Those 2 main events alone are going to put Raw over the top come Hell in a Cell. So nothing more to say on this. I'm going to give this between 2.25 and 2.5 for the effort. So nothing more to say. Didi Whitson, let's get your thoughts on all this. Looks like we're going to get Sasha and we're going to get the Boss and the Man inside Hell in a Cell. It's looking good.
Yeah, that was another one we were all kind of hoping would end up happening, especially since Sasha didn't win it last night. Becky did. As for the match, I'll agree on the rating. It was a good match. I'm kind of glad Bayley and Sasha didn't lose here because it allows the champions to lose without allowing both competitors to be hurt. And it gave Nikki basically a chance to kind of be the baby face in this. She did very well. Had some really good offense against the 2-on-1 situation she was put in. And I hope for Alexa's sake that the knee injury isn't real super bad, but it happens. That people get hurt in this business a lot. So there's not much more I'm going to say. I'll toss it back to you.
Yes, indeed. Injuries are indeed a part of the business. Absolutely, couldn't agree more. Then we had another cutout here. Lacey Evans over Dana Brooke in 3 minutes and 15 seconds, thanks to a sharpshooter. So that was it for that. And now to the main event of the evening, non-title matchup: Universal Champion Seth Rollins squaring off against one half of the new Raw Tag Team Champions, the glorious Robert Roode. Dolph Ziggler in his corner. Seth Rollins wins the match via disqualification in 10 minutes. Obviously, this is going to be an NA here. But Didi Whitson, after the match, all hell breaks loose. Ziggler and Roode, they double team on Rollins. And then if that couldn't get any worse enough, then all 3 members of the OC come down. It's a 5-on-1 beatdown. And then, hey, Demon Mayor Kane shows up. Not at all surprised to see that. he got he pretty much laid out almost everybody, but then there was the Fiend again. The Fiend got Kane, and then he got in the face of Rollins. Wow, whole lot to make sense of here.
Yep, there is. In one of the segments that Bray did for the Fun House, of course, he's put up pictures of everybody that the Fiend has taken out so far, and the newest one, of course, being Seth Rollins. But he had mentioned in there, it's time to make a new friend, because he's calling all those people his friends that he's taken out. So we found out tonight who the new friend is that's going to go onto the wall. And that was something to see, the Fiend taking down Kane the way he did, especially after, seeing Kane in his, his real life, doing his, like R-Truth said, 24/7 job, being the mayor of that place there, Knoxville. So yeah, I mean, it was cool to to see the sights from that on the 24/7. But when he said that he was going to Raw, I almost thought, okay, maybe we will see Kane. I didn't think it was going to be in that particular timing. And then pretty much as soon as you saw Kane come out, you could pretty much think, okay, yeah, the Fiend's going to come out. He's going to take out Kane, because that's pretty much what he's been doing, is taking out the legends and some of the top dogs, I guess you can say, because if you look at it, Seth right now is the top dog. Finn Balor has been the top dog, but they used him to, use the Fiend to get him out of the way for, his wedding and everything. So, it was a, it was all right, all right match with the DQ, beat down, everything. But I think what really set it off was the ending there with Kane and the Fiend. I think that really is what made the end of Raw at least something that you could enjoy. Because the rest of it, was So not much more I'm going to say. It's yours.
Yeah, like I said, it's an NA for the main event. I'm surprised that Rollins did not get a clean win over Bobby Roode, given that Roode beat him to win the tag titles the other night. Main event was not hot by any means, but the company did a good job of making it clear throughout the night that the Fiend would be appearing. Plus, they threw in the fun appearance by Kane to boot. It was not a strong show, but they over-delivered at the end. No doubt about that. So that's all I can say there. Overall thoughts on this. I'm gonna give this. I'm gonna give it a solid 6 out of 10 for this show. Obviously, the King of the Ring final. Not only the fight of the night, but the sleeper fight of the night as well. I mean, I did not expect those two to put on the match that they did. Well done, very, very, very well done. Despite the outcome that we didn't want, but it is what it is. And then you throw in a couple of other solid matches. Solid 6-man tag, solid. And then the Rey and Cesaro match. I mean, that was another quality match. Those were the two really standout matches of the night. The other matches were just there, 24/7 silliness. The ending was very well done. Like I said, this was a back to reality edition of Monday Night Raw after that red hot show they had last week in Madison Square Garden, which we rated between 8.5 and 9 out of 10. Nowhere near that this week, unfortunately. Back to reality. So 6 out of 10. I think that's the best we can give this Monday Night Raw this evening. So nothing more to say. Didi Woodson, agree, disagree, what?
Yeah, I'll agree. 6 out of 10. There was a lot of silliness that went on with this, especially with the announcement on Raw, them saying that they're going to have a boy, and then her doing what she seems to do every time they are on Raw, which is just ridicule her husband and make him feel that much more belittled. But Maria as a heel, I think that's kind of I kind of think it's awesome because she's so good at it. So yeah. But like I said, that even though the 24/7 stuff was it's kind of the silliness stuff, but you still got to see some of the sites from the college, and you got to see some of the stuff uh, that was on the tour that they supposedly took R-Truth on, and that was kind of fun to watch. So yeah, there was some enjoyable stuff, even if it was silly. But then of course you also had the lame stuff that happened as well. So like the two matches for Mike Canales, the one with Lacey Evans. I mean, those were just pretty much, just I guess you could say they're just fillers. They really didn't do much for the show. They certainly didn't do much for their prospective storylines, just because as most of us know, I don't think they have a storyline for Lacey other than with Natalya, which wasn't even there tonight, and then the Canellises don't really have anything other than hollering at Maverick is what most of what I've seen there for a while on Twitter. So yeah, I mean it's you already touched on what the hot matches were. So yeah, I mean there's not much more to say. I mean it at least ended on a high note for being a so-so show. But yeah, I think we all pretty much knew you can't have two good shows in a row. You have to have your reality check. So we got that tonight, and I have a feeling tomorrow night's going to be the same thing. We're going to hit our reality check, especially with Shane being there and the Corbin nonsense. So yeah, not much more I'm going to say about it. I'll see you whenever we do SmackDown. Good night.
All right, good night, Dee. I believe it's tomorrow. It should be either after the show or at 10:30. We'll see what MF has to say, but it should be tomorrow. So
yeah, just message me.
All right, as soon as I hear anything, I will.
Okay. Good night.
All right. So now we'll move on now to my Tony's Take here, and we're going to get into 205 Live, which was last week. Kushida is now a part of 205 Live. That is a major coup for them. And Kushida debuted, teaming up with Gentleman Jack Gallagher in a tag team match against D. Brian Kendrick and Akira Tozawa. Gallagher and Kushida win the match, 9 minutes and 5 seconds. It was a solid 3-star match. Good opener. And the potential of Kushida on 205 Live gives us a ton of fresh matches. I'd like to see Kushida against Akira Tozawa very soon. That would be really cool. Then we had, it was supposed to be Lince Dorado and Humberto Carrillo against Drew Gulak and Tony Nese in a tag team match. But then Gran Metalik and Arya Daivari get involved. So they throw that match away, and we ended up getting a 6-man tag instead. Dorado, Metalik, and Carrillo against Cruiserweight champion Drew Gulak, Arya Daivari, and Tony Nese. The babyface team of Dorado, Metalik, and Carrillo win the match, 18 minutes and 20 seconds. 3.5 stars. Very good and tremendously fun 6-man match that continued the issues between all 6 men and also added the build to the Cruiserweight title match that we saw at the Clash of Champions. 7.25 out of 10. Good show, good wrestling, debut of Kushida, quality main event that continued the issues between all 6 men, and they also added to the build for the Cruiserweight match. So nothing more to say. Let's get into Impact Wrestling now. Started off with the debut, the Knockouts debut of Tenille Dashwood, formerly Emma of the WWE. She went up against Kiera Hogan. Tenille Dashwood won the match. Kiera Hogan was the perfect first opponent for Dashwood in Impact, as she's really come into her own as a heel lately. and a very skilled competitor to boot. Probably a bit more competitive than it should have been, but it was very well wrestled. Both ladies came away looking good. Dashwood is a great coup for the Knockouts division, and I fully believe she's the right woman to dethrone Taya Valkyrie for the Knockouts Championship, and I think that's going to happen come October 20 at Bound for Glory. Michael Elgin went up against Dynastia. Dynastia is the current AAA World Mini Estrellas champion, so you could probably imagine there was a pretty distinct size difference between these two. It was obvious from the get-go that this would be a complete squash, and sure enough, Elgin made quick work at Dynastia and put him away with Marufuji's signature finisher. He called out Marufuji on the mic afterward, so it looks like they'll be going one-on-one at Bound for Glory. Dr. Wagner over Tejano Jr. We're familiar with these two from their time in Lucha Underground. Could have sworn they were both business clients of the infamous Famous B at one point. Not really sure what purpose this was supposed to serve, aside from appeasing the live crowd in Mexico and hyping up AAA. Of course, MF has mentioned it on his Mikey's Mindset over on Cerebral Smack Talk. AAA will be hosting an event at Madison Square Garden, or I think they had it this past weekend. Perfectly fine for what it was, and I'm impressed Wagner can move around as much as he can at his age, but it really ultimately didn't do anything for me personally. Ace Austin over Eddie Edwards by disqualification, and I find myself more engaged in this storyline than almost anything on Impact at the moment, which is saying something because Impact has been producing a lot of strong content as of late. Both Edwards and Austin have been playing their roles exceptionally well, and Austin has benefited a lot from working with an established star in Edwards. I love the intensity they brought to this bout and how Austin came close to securing the victory on multiple occasions. Edwards once again went too far and got himself intentionally disqualified, giving Austin another victory over him. It's a simple storyline, but I've been digging it. Pretty good, especially with Alicia involved. Desi Hit Squad against Nino, Hamburguesa, and Big Mommy. Big Mommy's last match against Valkyrie a few weeks ago was absolutely atrocious. I have no idea why Impact officials opted to have her wrestle again during these tapings. And meanwhile, I find it difficult to get behind anything involving the Desi Hit Squad, so you can only imagine how little I cared about this bout. Hamburguesa is half decent, but everything else about this was a joke. Following Desi Hit Squad's latest loss, Mahabali Shera returned and predictably joined the group. He's probably the best of that bunch, sadly. Main event, we had OVE over Tommy Dreamer and Tessa Blanchard in a street fight. The Dreamer main events and Impact in 2019 keep on coming. Thankfully, the street fight stipulation played to his strengths, and the fact that it was a tag match helped him hide his weaknesses. It kept things entertaining for the most part, and I continue to enjoy any interaction between Tessa Blanchard and Sami Callihan. OVE going over was the right call, with Callihan set to challenge Brian Cage for the World Heavyweight Championship at Bound for Glory. But Blanchard was able to get a measure of revenge afterward. Rhino and RVD then made the save, so ECW remains alive and well in Impact. This edition of Impact overall was a bit of a mixed bag. I appreciate the company bringing in local talent for their shows in Mexico, but if they aren't going to factor in any of the current storylines or help build toward Bound for Glory, their WrestleMania next month, then they're pointless. The slightly above average main event, Tenille Dashwood's successful in-ring debut, and the progression of the Edwards-Austin storyline saved this show from being a total misfire. Probably about a 5.5 to 6 on this one. This upcoming week on Impact Wrestling, which will go down this Friday night. Of course, the big news coming out next month, they are going to be moving again. They will no longer be on the Pursuit channel. They're going to be going to Access TV. Very much looking forward to seeing how that plays out. And that'll go into effect after Bound for Glory next month. For this edition of Impact Wrestling, Tessa Blanchard, RVD, Tommy Dreamer, and Rhino against OVE. 8-person tag match. Mahabali Shera against Cody Deaner. The Rascals against Arez, Toxin, and Australian Suicide. Havoc and Su Yung in a no disqualification match. Taya Valkyrie against Alicia Edwards. And then in the main event, Rich Swann and Willie Mack against LAX. In what was LAX's final match with Impact Wrestling, because as you all know, they're now in AEW after what we saw at the last event. So that's all Friday night. And that will pretty much put the bow on this edition of Ridiculously Raw. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in this evening. Of course, we'll be back with you all tomorrow night at either 10 or 10:30 over on Michael Fletcher's channel for another all-new edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk or Rundown SmackDown Live. I'm sure MF will have a Mikey's Mindset, and that'll do it for that. And then Wednesday night, of course, the debut of Derek Ferrera's brand new show, Wednesday Night Mayhem, immediately following NXT. We're going to review NXT. And then Thursday night, College Football Thursday, Week 4 edition, headlined by Notre Dame and Georgia, plus some other great matchups. And then Friday, NFL Friday, 2 huge matchups, Baltimore Ravens, Kansas City Chiefs, Los Angeles Rams, Cleveland Browns, the 2 big ones for the NFL. And then that's pretty much it. And then back at it next week for Ridiculously Raw right back here. So that'll do it for this. So until tomorrow night for the Cerebral Smack Talk, it's Anthony Florio here. In spirit, of course, good old MF Michael Fletcher, the Phenom Michael Bullock, the Twisted Angel Didi Whitson, and Derek Ferrer. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah, throw it up, watching for style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed Tuesday. And until tomorrow night for this Cerebral Smack Talk, keep it watching Ridiculously Raw right here on StreamYard, YouTube.com. For everybody who's been a part of this one, of course, as you all know, wrestling is indeed actually real. For everybody who's been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Florio, so long. Bye, everybody. Bye.